Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're delving into a story that shook an entire continent, the death of Idriss Deby, the long-reigning president of Chad. The official story is that he was killed on the front lines. A warrior president defending his nation, but as we peel back the layers, a far more complex and shocking picture emerges. What really happened on that fateful day in April 2021? Let's uncover the truth together. For over 3 decades, Idriss Déby was the undisputed strongman of Chad. He came to power through a coup in 1990 and held onto it with an iron fist, navigating a landscape of regional conflicts, internal rebellions, and intricate political alliances. To the West, particularly France, he was a crucial ally in the fight against extremism in the Sahel. His army was seen as one of the most capable in the region, a vital buffer against chaos. But at home, his rule was marked by accusations of corruption, repression, and the concentration of power within his own Zagao ethnic group. This long-simmering discontent set the stage for the dramatic events to come. In April 2021, as Déby was celebrating his 6th-term election victory, a rebel convoy from the Front for Change and Concord in Chad, or FACT, crossed the border from Libya. They were heading south, directly toward the capital, N'Djamena. The official narrative tells us that Déby, a former army commander, rushed to the front lines north of the capital to boost troop morale. It was there, amidst the fighting, that he was said to have been mortally wounded, dying a hero's death. This story painted him as a soldier king, a patriot who fell defending his homeland. It was a powerful and romantic image, one that fit his public persona perfectly, but almost immediately, this official account started to crumble under scrutiny. Questions arose that just didn't have convincing answers. Why would a 68-year-old president, secure after another election win, place himself in such extreme danger? Why were there no photos or videos of him at the front? The timeline also seemed suspicious. The announcement of his death came just a day after his election victory was confirmed. Was this a tragic coincidence, or something more calculated? Many observers, both inside and outside Chad, began to suspect that the frontline battle was merely a cover story for a darker truth. This is where the story takes a turn. Whispers and reports began to circulate about a fierce argument that erupted within the presidential entourage during the visit to the troops. Some sources claim the dispute was with high-ranking officers who were unhappy with his leadership, or a specific battlefield command. Others suggest the conflict was even closer to home, a violent disagreement with members of his own family or inner circle. According to these alternative theories, the fatal injuries weren't inflicted by rebel fighters, but by someone from his own side during a heated internal power struggle. This would mean his death wasn't a battlefield tragedy, but a palace coup disguised as one. The aftermath only deepened the mystery. Within hours of his death, the constitution was suspended, and a military council led by his son, Mohammed Idriss Deby, took power. This swift, unconstitutional transfer of power looked less like an emergency measure and more like a pre-planned succession. It ensured that the Deby dynasty and the Zagao elite remained in control, sidelining any political rivals. The speed of this transition strongly suggests that key players were prepared for the president's removal. One way or another, the battlefield death narrative provided the perfect justification for military takeover, wrapping it in the flag of national security and stability. So, what is the shocking truth? While concrete proof remains elusive, the evidence overwhelmingly points away from the official story. The death of Idriss Deby appears to be less about a heroic last stand and more about a brutal power struggle at the very heart of the Chadian regime. He may have been a casualty not of a rebel bullet, but of the very system of power he himself had built over 30 years, system where loyalty is fragile and ambition can be deadly. His death wasn't just the end of a ruler. It was a stark reminder that in the high-stakes game of absolute power, the greatest threat often comes from within. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive. What do you think really happened? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more stories from behind the headlines. See you next time.